and welcome to the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners meeting, May 24th, 2023, and we'll start with introductions on the dais.
Chrissy Rachel, Assistant Clerk.
Leslie Hervey, Clerk to the Board.
Stephanie Summerall Dumas, Commissioner.
Can I just say it's May 25th?
Oh, wow, you're right. It is May 25th.
Listen, I only know that because my little brother's birthday was yesterday. It's the 24th. So I know
Thank
it's
you.
the 25th today. So
I looked at the top, it said revised,
Sorry,
May
for the
24th. I better get my glasses. May 25th.
I'm sorry, I got so distracted. I said to Jeff, isn't it the 25th? Good afternoon. I'm Commissioner Denise Treehouse.
Jeff Aludo, County Administrator.
Charlie Ennis, Prosecutor's Office.
And I'm Hamilton County Commission Board President Alicia Reese. We always start our meeting with a moment in silent prayer, and just ask for you to keep a lot of folks in prayer, and pray that we have a safe holiday weekend as well. Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous session.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Okay, we have a couple proclamations that we are presenting today. And I want to start off with the first one, a proclamation and recognition of the retirement of Princeton City Schools Superintendent Tom Burton. I will say that I did check with the Ohio Revised Code, AKA the law, to see if we could change that to prohibit him from retiring, but they said they haven't passed that bill up at the State House yet. So we'll go with the retirement. It reads, whereas Mr. Tom Burton, the superintendent of CSI Princeton City Schools, is a proven and dynamic school educator. He has served as an educator since 1987 and at Princeton City Schools since 2015.
And whereas Mr. Burton exemplifies and embodies the spirit of a public servant and is dedicated to uplifting the community. He has served in numerous capacities, including serving on the Northern Cincinnati Chamber of Commerce, the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland Educational Advisory Council, and the Sharonville Cultural Arts Center Executive Board. And whereas Mr. Burton is a published author and contributor to educational columns, as well as a sought-after speaker, inspiring and sharing his knowledge with others. And whereas Mr. Burton has received numerous awards throughout his career, and most recently received the Innovative Superintendent Award, the Workforce Champion Award for Outstanding Leadership, in the Ohio 500, a list of the most influential executives across the state of Ohio.
And whereas Mr. Burton believes that creating a collaborative environment with all stakeholders will help ensure each child's needs are met, Mr. Burton continues to strive and live out the Princeton mission of empowering each student for college, career, and life success. And whereas Mr. Burton has worked tirelessly to improve Princeton's overall school report, attendance rates, and connecting students to career opportunities. And whereas Mr. Burton will officially retire from his duties as Princeton City Schools Superintendent in July of this year, the Princeton City Schools Administration, faculty, staff, students, and community members celebrate this amazing achievement.
Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners, Hamilton County, Ohio, hereby recognize and commemorate May 25th, 2023, as Tom Burton Day in all of Hamilton County. Mr. Burton, if you could come to the podium here to say a few words, and then we'll present the proclamation to you for a photo, but as you're coming, we usually open up for the commissioners to say something, and I will start by saying thank you for the thousands of young people that you have mentored, you've educated, you've loved, you've sent them in the right direction, and you've created a lot of leaders. This year, you just keep winning, winning, winning. State championship, whether it's at the games or whether it's in the classroom or your community outreach days that you created to bring the community in along with the students. And I know I've been, I'm sure my other colleagues have been to it as well. And then I also want to thank you for what you've done with Veda Stevens. He is a proud graduate of Princeton schools, public school, and we appreciate, and he's doing a great job here. So he's excited to see you and to show, hey, I did it. And I think his brother just graduated this past weekend. I'm upset that you're leaving before my nieces can graduate. I'm not happy about that, but you've done a great job. And then thank you for your leadership on the trying to get that gun range out of the neighborhoods that your students are at, the students that are impacted in Lincoln Heights and Woodlawn. And you were on the front lines. I heard you on Conservative Talk Radio talking about it. This has to get solved. And everywhere I go, you say, did y'all solve this? We have to solve this. But it shows that you weren't just a superintendent in the walls of the schools. You were caring about the kids on the front lines, on the grounds. And because of you, we're moving forward. I think your efforts and so many others, but your efforts, we're moving forward to get that hopefully resolved very soon. With that, I open it up to Vice President Driehaus.
Yes, congratulations on your retirement. I was saying earlier that you have created really a different relationship between a superintendent of a really important school district in Hamilton County with the elected officials. Your outreach has been important. You've kept us up to date through your newsletters on what's going on at Princeton, and I don't get newsletters from any other school districts, so I am very grateful for that. It's kind of a different approach, a very collaborative approach, an outreach kind of approach that you have undertaken to make sure that not only do we know what's going on at Princeton, but we feel engaged with the students and what's going on, all the good stuff that's going on there. And I know you've had some challenging situations with some swatting, I think it's, and we were kept well in the loop on that too, and feared the worst, and turned out not to be a terrible situation. But you have done a really spectacular job leading a very large school district. And it's to your credit that all of us, I think, feel so engaged and so close to you because you've brought us into the school community and made us feel welcome. I remember walking across the field, Commissioner Reese, with you at a football game.
Yeah.
And, welcoming in all the elected officials and making us feel like, not only is Princeton important, but we need to understand what you're doing over there. So we're going to miss you, but congratulations in the next leg of your journey.
Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Always good to see you. Always made me feel welcome whenever I did come over there. I think of passion, commitment, and creativity. You think outside of the box. So I thank you for that. And hopefully whoever's trying to fill your shoes will also think outside of the box also. It's very helpful. So congratulations.
All right, the floor is yours.
I'm trying to figure out who you guys are talking about. So, it's been such a pleasure to serve as superintendent of Princeton City Schools. And I remember sharing a few remarks to our team and also our entire educational community. I talked about how many minutes I've been in education, 18,921,600 minutes. Now that's some time right there for sure. But the biggest thing that I said is what I follow up with and what I'm going to talk about today too, is that each one of those minutes have been lifted by other people. And while certainly it says Tom Burton on the proclamation, which is so nice, and I promise not to drive like a madman all through Hamilton County today, only to say today's my day. I will not do that. Just kidding. But it really is about other people, and it's not about any one leader. It's about the team that I'm blessed to work with each and every day, and the students that we serve. There's a big purpose, and we talked early on at Princeton about it's not about paper, it's about purpose, and that's really what it has been. And I am walking away from the role of superintendent. In my remarks at commencement, I ended with that. I love this job. I love the people I work with, and especially the students I'm so blessed to be able to serve. And today, I started my day at 6:45 with a young man who got a scholarship, and actually it was a surprise to him. They gave him a nice check, and then they doubled it. So that was tremendous. Yeah. And one of the last students that I saw today was somebody leaving an elementary school, a fifth grader, who had tears in his eyes, and actually several of the students were crying. And when you have people that don't want to leave school because they love school, and I remember Veda actually leading baccalaureate and did such a passionate, beautiful job, and talking so much about the indelible mark that his alma mater now left on him. I think that's amazing. That's all we can ask for is to love and appreciate other people, create equitable opportunities so each student can lead a life that they deserve to lead. So I certainly appreciate this. And on behalf of the whole district, thank you for taking time to recognize the superintendent. That does not happen. And we probably should spend more time recognizing those leaders, because there are many people that have spent more time than I have in education that deserve even more credit and recognition. But I certainly appreciate this. It's an awesome day. And my beautiful wife, who's in the audience today, Franca Burton, I'm hoping that she will recognize today being Tom Burton Day. Thank you very much.
We're going to come around and take a picture. Thank you.
Just very quickly, if I may, I'm sorry. I have to recognize Tricia Robinson, my running mate through so many of the different initiatives that you heard. It's tough to recognize any one person because so many people do so much, but Tricia is unbelievable, and she is the reason why so much of the communication has happened. We talk all the time about the importance of authentic collaboration, and that's what hopefully we'll recognize more superintendents, but I'm going to get on a whole bunch of people on my way home. Everybody, you guys should be getting all the information. So
And I do want to say you're not off the hook if you retire. We love retired people. We put them to work extra hard. So thank thank you all. Thank you. Our next presentation is for a proclamation. This is Older Americans Month, and I guess AKA senior citizens. And this board, we love our older Americans. It reads, whereas this month commemorates the celebration of older Americans and recognizes their amazing contributions and how they continue to impact our nation, states, cities, and counties.
And whereas Older Americans Month was first proclaimed by President John F. Kennedy in May of 1963 in efforts to raise awareness surrounding the growing issue of poverty largely impacting older Americans. And whereas older adults represent over 22% of Hamilton County citizens, Hamilton County continues to identify and fund services that support older adults in Hamilton County through programs such as its Senior Utility and Home Repair Assistance Program.
And whereas Hamilton County is committed to engaging and supporting older adults, their families, caregivers, and has demonstrated that commitment through its support of the Senior Services Levy and Elderly Services Program. And whereas Hamilton County will continue to provide opportunities to support the lives of all older individuals in Hamilton County by promoting home and community-based services that will help older adults remain independent in their own homes, encouraging partners within the Aging Services Network to continue to innovate so Hamilton County older adults can thrive, and helping the community appreciate the contribution of all older adults.
Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners, Hamilton County, Ohio, hereby recognize and celebrate May, the month of May, as Older Americans Month in all of Hamilton County. Okay, is someone here to receive it? Okay, come on up. As you are coming forward to receive this, I wanted to say that our board has been really active in trying to make sure, whether it's the senior services levies, whether it's an additional $1 million fund we had for seniors for their home and utility repairs. And I just want to also say that this is very critical right now as they're debating in Washington. Some seniors have contacted me who are worried about, if their Social Security check is going to come in on time, and how it affects them. I had another lady say her mother, and she's a senior, and she has a mother that's in her 90s, and she's worried about that right now. So we want to say that we support them and keep them in prayer, because the rent is due on the first of the month, or the mortgage and the gas and electric. So I know that we are very concerned about that and want to make sure that they get their checks on time as well. So I wanted to highlight that. I'll open it up to Vice President Driehaus.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. So I noted that the stanza that I read about John F. Kennedy declaring Older Americans Month in the year I was born, I was like, oh, I'm living proof of the Older Americans Act. Kind of struck me funny. I think it is true to say that Hamilton County has prioritized seniors. We've got 7 levies, and when I first got here, immediately you're thrown into this levy conversation about what should be raised, what should stay flat, and we made a conscious decision then, and we've lived up to the decision that seniors and kids were the most important of the 7 levies. And so we increased the senior services levy. We could not, though, have done any of the work without the Council on Aging, who is our partner through all the senior services programming, whether it's Meals on Wheels or individuals going into homes, trying to make sure that our seniors can age in place. It is so important that we've got a partner like COA who knows how to engage the senior community and make sure that we're doing our best work. So grateful that you're here to accept the proclamation, and thank you for your work and your partnership with the county.
Thank you. Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you so much for being here. Our numbers are going up. Our older adults are living longer. I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of things we can learn from our older adults that we don't tap into, and we need to do more of that. But thank you so much for what you guys do. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm newer to the team at Council on Aging, but honored to be here. My name's Ronnie Spears. I'm the CFO at the Council on Aging, but we are certainly honored and grateful to participate and celebrate older Americans with you all today, and just honored and privileged for the opportunity to serve older Americans within Hamilton County. So appreciate the opportunity to come today. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll come around and present the proclamation to you.
Thank you.
All right. Our next proclamation, I would allow Vice President Driehaus to introduce.
Thank you, and I think Mary Mounty is here also to elaborate on this proclamation. Just very quickly, the issue of period poverty first came to my attention as the Commission on Women and Girls first started to meet back in 2017, and there were 10 teenage girls on the commission, and we were talking about our priorities, and they said period poverty is a real problem in Hamilton County. I said, what are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. And they said, girls don't have access to period products in schools or sometimes at home. And it creates a situation where girls aren't comfortable going to school. They are concerned when they're in school about not having period products. And so the Commission on Women and Girls decided to make this a priority, and we are currently working at the state level trying to get some legislation passed to address the issue. But in the meantime, here in Hamilton County, we wanted to recognize the issue, make people aware of it, and reduce some of the stigma that is related to girls having periods. And so with that, I'd like to introduce, well, Mary Mounty should come up and say a few words about the proclamation. And we do have others in the audience as well to comment to it. Or do you want to read it first?
Let's read the
Okay, we'll read it
proclamation
first. All right, it's a proclamation recognizing Period Poverty Awareness Week. Whereas period supplies are a necessary product each month for millions of people across the country.
Whereas national surveys and research studies report that 2 in 5 women and girls struggle to secure enough period supplies to meet their needs each month due to a lack of income. And whereas this lack of period supplies, known as period poverty, can adversely affect the health and well-being of menstruators, and whereas period poverty exacerbates the vicious cycle of poverty by forcing menstruators to withdraw from daily life, losing pay or missing educational opportunities.
And whereas menstruators struggling with period poverty risk infections by using proxy products such as socks or toilet paper, are not changing products as often as needed. And whereas the people of Hamilton County recognize that period poverty is a public health issue, and addressing period poverty can lead to economic opportunity for the state's people and communities, and improved health for women and girls, menstruators, thus ensuring all people have access to the basic necessities required to thrive and reach their full potential. And whereas Hamilton County is proud to be home to trusted community-based organizations, including Tidal Bay Period Bank, that recognize the importance of period products in ensuring health and providing economic stability, and thus distribute period products through various channels.
Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners recognizes the importance of period supply banks, their staff, their volunteers, and donors in all efforts they make in the interest of alleviating period poverty. And be it further proclaimed that the Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim May 22nd through, I was like, oh my goodness, through May 28th, 2023, as Period Poverty Awareness Week in all of Hamilton County.
I just wanted to introduce the folks that are here today from Tidal Bay Period Bank. and let them say a few words. This is something, as we all know, is very dear to the Hamilton County Commission on Women and Girls. We have Ann Lucky here, who is a representative of Title Babe. I do want to recognize another organization, Girls Health Period, that was not able to be here today, but we certainly will send them a proclamation as well.
Thank you, and thank you, Hamilton County Commissioners. I will add a personal note that I was an intern here about 25 years ago, and it is lovely to see 3 rock star ladies on our commission.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we truly appreciate all of the work and recognition around the period poverty that the Hamilton County has done, and that certainly helps in fighting stigma. We are seeing at Title Babe Period Bank a significant increase in demand for our period kits. Last year, we distributed about 300,000 period products over the year, and this year we're already seeing about a 25% increase in demand for our period kits. And I think largely it's not necessarily the demand that's up, but the word is getting out there that we have these resources. So we're very excited to be working with you, and we appreciate all the attention you're drawing to this important issue. So thank you.
Vice President Driehaus, did you want to add anything?
No, I just want to thank you for coming in, and thank you for doing what you're doing.
Commissioner Dumas?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wonder if we didn't look the way we do up here, would it have come forward so quickly? So I'm glad that it did. It's something that's on the forefront of our minds for sure. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you for all you do, and thank you, Mary Mallory, keeping this at the forefront, and these resources are very important. One thing I love about the Women and Girls and all of our boards, and we're encouraging people to join our boards because we're not just having people on boards to just sit around. We're really having people to help shape the policies of this county. So I just wanted to highlight that, and thanks for all the work. Do we have a proclamation?
That's a good question. I don't have the proclamation in front of me, but I think it's forthcoming. So why don't we take the picture anyway?
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you all. You're welcome to stay, but you have to leave. Now we're going to see, are there any, oh yeah, there are. Any public comments on Zoom? None on Zoom? Okay, thank you. All right, we'll go with, if I say it wrong, please help. Zufan Domini. Oh, correct. Yes, when you get up there, please give us your name.
God, today is my day. I have to celebrate meeting all of you doing your work, excellent work. I thank you very much for giving me time to talk. And my name is Zufan Demen. I lived in Hamilton County the last 40 years, and I own a property uptown. And the last 25 years, we lived in that area, and 4 generations lived in that house. Now, my house is given for Ohio Receivable Group because my houses need a lot of fixing, a lot of things, but I'm working on it. But they took me to court, and while I'm processing the court case, they went ahead and changed my deed into this company. The city telling me get vacant license. When I went to get the vacant license, the name is not my name there anymore. And then when I checked the auditor office, my deed is changed to this investment company. I have a case hearing coming up on the 31st, this end of the month. And I'm just confused. I'm a single parent, and I paid mortgage on time. I'm a voter, registered voter, and my plan was to use this property for my children, grandchildren, to go to UC so that they would be close to school. So now I don't have even property, my own house, my own property given to these people. And I'm confused. The reason I came here and to see Alicia's office, your honor, and if you can assist me with this information, but the nicest guy over here told me there is a meeting. You want to talk about it there? So thank you for giving me. I didn't even know there is such a thing here. So I am just feel like I need some help.
Well, thank you for coming. We have a 2-minute limit here. And my office, Veda Stevens, will get with you and the administrator, maybe someone from the administration to maybe try to guide you to the right direction or.
If you could leave your name and contact information with one of the chiefs of staff, Veda, then we'll follow up with Veda and get that information, look into the situation, and get in touch with you and look into the situation a little bit more specifically. If we need to call over to other departments, clerk of courts, et cetera, we'll track down what's going on.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I apologize, I forgot we have a public hearing. So we're gonna go into the public hearing and then come back out because we're a little bit behind time. We need at 1:15. We have a public hearing regarding the issuance of healthcare facilities revenue bonds by the County of Franklin, Ohio, acting by and through the County Hospital Commission of Franklin County for the benefit of Ohio living communities. Mr. Little, you want to bring us in?
From Dinsmore is here, who will walk us through the hearing for the issuance of healthcare revenue bonds. If the board is so inclined, there's also a resolution later on in the agenda authorizing the approval by this elected body for that. So, Michael, I'll turn it over to you.
That's correct. Thank you, Jeff. And good afternoon, commissioners, and thank you for once again being able to host us today. And thank you, Leslie, for helping us.
Can you bring the mic up closer so they can hear you?
Yes, this is always, there we go. Okay. So, yes, as Jeff said, my name is Michael Dean. I'm an attorney with Dinsmore and Scholl here in downtown Cincinnati. This hearing today is similar to one we held in late summer of last year for a different organization. This particular bond transaction would be an issuance by the Franklin County Hospital Commission, up to $500 million in aggregate, up to $36 million of which would be spent here in the county. The purpose for the hearing is a requirement of the federal tax laws when tax-exempt bonds are issued by a governmental entity such as the Franklin County Hospital Commission for the benefit of a private entity, in this case a 501c3 entity, Ohio Living Communities. We have to have the public hearing and obtain the approval of the applicable elected representative, in this case, this body of commissioners. So the project is with respect to a Ohio Living Land Fair facility out on Land Fair Avenue in College Hill. At the facility, there is some existing debt that they are looking to refund. And that'll be a significant amount of that $36 million. The other smaller portion of it, about $6 million over the course of the next 3 years, would be for routine capital expenditures at the facility. This approval, along with many others in many other counties across the state, are happening here in the next couple of weeks. Just to address the timing, and I know these hearings aren't typically held at these meetings, so I wanted to address that as well. The Hospital Commission usually holds these hearings, and so we usually hold those at the quarterly Hospital Commission meetings. unfortunately, this just falls right in the middle of their April and July meetings. And so we're here today, and again, thank you for making the time for us. But to have a public hearing, to let the public issue any comments or questions, and to, yes, as Jeff said, there's a resolution later on the consent agenda. If the commissioners are amenable, we would appreciate the approval of that resolution today. And the transaction itself would go forward and later in June to be sold to investors, public investors. And so, unfortunately, yeah, right in between the April and July hospital commission meeting dates. So appreciate you making the time today and happy to entertain any questions. One more note before I stop talking. We have today representatives from Bond Counsel, who's Ice Miller LLP out of Columbus, Ben Quito, and also a representative from Ohio Living, Ann Beeman, who is the executive director out at Ohio Living Land Fair. So with that, I will stop talking and let any questions be entertained by the public or the board.
Thank you for coming forward. I do want to highlight, though, this is the second time that that this has been, not this particular one, but been presented, and we say it's between the time of when the board meets, so that's why we have to come straight to you all. I would like that to, I really like that to stop, because it's been twice. So I don't want to give a pattern, you know what I'm saying, of a public hearing. I'm not trying to be, but I'm just saying we put these people on these boards, and this is the second time, at least, that I've heard the same line that we can't. I mean, it might fall that way. You're the lawyer. Let's try to make that not happen if possible.
Agreed, and certainly. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just want to put that out there. I'm not asking for any response to it, but that's been twice now, and I just want to not make it a pattern.
I certainly understand that. We would also prefer that these be with the hospital commission and have it flow through there as is intended. Again, it's the same line, unfortunately, because it's just the truth. And we could certainly ask the hospital commission to convene for a special meeting for the sole purpose of holding a TEFRA hearing. But unfortunately, there are some feasibility issues there in getting a quorum together and making that all happen at a time that we can properly notice it. So again, we appreciate your flexibility. I understand the concern, and certainly our goal to have these run through the hospital commission every time.
Okay, thank you. Vice President Treehouse, any questions?
No questions, other than I don't know if the vacancies have been filled on the hospital commission. I wonder if that's part of the problem here, by way of getting a quorum?
Could be.
Okay, all right. I think that's something that we can look into to make sure that we've done our part to fill the vacancies.
Absolutely.
So that quorum doesn't become an issue for the hospital commission.
Absolutely, I can ask George.
Okay, yeah, let us know. We'll fast forward. Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you. Wondering about the notice that was given out for public hearing. What efforts did you make to?
Right.
Yeah.
The notice requirements for this hearing are controlled by federal law. So that's a requirement that we publish it 7 days ahead of time. We have a couple options. One is a newspaper. What we've gotten comfortable with the county and working with the county's web development staff is a procedure to post those notices online with the rest of the county's public hearing notices. So that was published on May 17th of last week. And so we have 8 days, actually, before the hearing that this was noticed. And that was, of course, up the entire time. I'm sure it's been taken down by now or will be taken down by the end of the day. But that is a process not controlled by state law, in this case, actually controlled by federal law.
Okay. And the percentage that Hamilton County would receive, is that OR state code to determine that?
That is really determination of any particular financing. In this case, that $36 million number is tied specifically to the land fair facility. And so that's, I could do some math off the top of my head, 6-7% of the overall amount that is being issued would be used here in Hamilton County.
And is that normal, about 6-7%?
It would depend on the organization. We have a lot of CCRC type facilities, retirement, senior living facilities that undertake these kinds of financings that are solely based in Hamilton County. 100% is going to. I think last year with Mercy, it was an even smaller percentage that was here. But again, these are bond proceeds that will be used throughout the state. So yeah, we have a lot that are here locally. All the major 501c3 hospitals and senior living facilities that only have a footprint here in the county. All of that is spent here. In this case, it's just a much larger organization. So they're spread throughout the state of Ohio, and that's where they'll use the proceeds.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And thank you
That's
again.
all I have.
Okay, Thank you. And so there's a resolution on here, so, what item is that number? Let's look real quick. I'd like to advance item 4, if you don't mind. Oh, I gotta close, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
We should just check in case there's anybody here from the public who does want to speak on that issue.
Anybody here? Going once,
That is normal.
going twice. You said you sent out the notices, going 3 times. Okay, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 4.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, we got one more public comment. William Jackson III.
Hello, and thank you for the floor. We're always fighting to get more than 2 minutes, and we've explained that to people, what that may tie to, but he thinks he's a tech expert himself, where we have all these problems, starting with childhood, where many introverts were using technology more than others that were more verbally expressive, and they would call themselves high vocab because of their parents that already had European accents. Not really, but it feels like a lot of people grew up inheriting a language that the world of secrets that aren't told, of things that we're not supposed to talk about in our society, and we have lots of taboo and saving face, and that's what's happening. A lot of what's happening with our gun wars in the streets, with 16-year-olds having guns. We don't know how they're accessing this stuff. It's obviously coming from someone. It's not being permitted properly. As many things, we're not having openness of what people are. This shutdown that Governor DeWine was the first person in the nation to be behind it. Just it's unprecedented. When he took action, and then other people took action after him. Like months later, everybody would copy what the state of Ohio did, starting with Kentucky. And we're not teaching originality. We're not teaching creativeness. We're not teaching a lot of things. We're teaching control and repression. And other cultures are, they're not accepting the secrets of what we should be. We are protesting, and we want to stay respectfully. There's a lot of things that I work on all the time. There's legal ways to do things, and there's very illegal things that are affecting us all. What comes down the river on barges, first thing that we tolerate, and through the mail, we blame it on other countries, but it's us. We don't take blame or responsibility in this country. This board here, I respect this board. You guys are, you show up, you show your faces. Too many people stayed at home and stayed safe and got into some very bad sick habits. They thought they were on a permanent vacation, and they can't show face. They're trying to save face. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we'll go to, we will go to comments and comments/motions from the Board of Commission. And I will start with Vice President Dreehouse.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. I wanted to mention a couple of things that we've done within the last week. The Small Business Day took place on Monday. I unfortunately was out of town and missed it, but I heard it was a big success and that many small business were engaged and did, so there was some one-on-one counseling to make sure that they had the resources they need. So I'm grateful to the commission and for the administration for putting all of that together. I'm glad it was so successful. And then I know Commissioner Dumas is going to talk about the press conference this morning, the Beyond Your Imagination, but I was happy to participate in that and celebrate the launch of that. There was also an opening in Western Hills, the Mercy Health, the health entity opened an urgent care facility out on the west side. And so my staff went out and celebrated that and was part of the grand opening. And then lastly, I wanted to bring something to the attention of the board. I attended the Stormwater District Oversight Board committee meeting yesterday, and we were talking about how the fees are collected for the Stormwater District, and there was an idea about doing some capital improvement projects related to capturing stormwater. And so it reminded me a lot of the conversations we have related to MSD, who, through whom we are also trying to capture stormwater to keep it out of the system. And so we are embarking on a study from the Stormwater Oversight Board to look into whether or not we can help finance some projects throughout the county to reduce the amount of stormwater going into our collective stormwater and sewer systems. We expect it to be done in 6 months or so, and then we will take a vote as an oversight board to determine whether or not we want to move forward with those projects and how much we are able to commit to those projects. But I think as we think through some of what we hear from our residents about overland flooding, about these heavy weather events and the impact on people's homes and in their basements in particular, and some of the flooding issues, I think it's important that beyond just MSD, we're thinking about collecting stormwater and doing what we can to try to solve for some of the issues that we know are out there in the community. So more to come on that, but I did want to put it on the radar for my colleagues to make sure that if something like that comes forward, you'll have some familiarity with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple things. As it was mentioned earlier, I did attend the Small Business Day. It was awesome, over 900 plus businesses, and I was able to say a few words of encouragement. But I also want to congratulate President Reese for her vision of having a Small Business Day, and it just turned out excellent. And I don't even know how it could be any bigger, but I'm sure we'll figure out how to do it, but it was excellent. And I want to talk about the press conference we had this morning, but before I talk about that, I'd like to just say that Governor DeWine and Lieutenant Governor Houston had a press release that came out yesterday to launch a statewide online portal where you can inquire and apply to become a foster parent or adoptive parent. They want it to be as easy as possible. And Lieutenant Houston, I found out, began his life in a foster home, and he was adopted. So this is near and dear to his heart. And also this month is National Foster Care Month. I didn't put it on the agenda, so I'm not going to read it, but we as a board recognize that this May is National Foster Care Month. And just to reiterate that whereas 1,800 Hamilton County children currently are in custody in Hamilton County, and almost half are living in foster homes, and 30% are residing with relatives. So we all signed it, and we're all adamant about observing this, and I'll put this in for the record. In addition, I'd like to say we had a press conference this morning at 10 a.m. At TQL Stadium. I think we're going to put something up there. And the press conference was to begin Beyond Your Imagination. And this is a program that the county is working with JFS to move toward cultural enrichment for youth ages 14 plus in the care of Hamilton County. As it says, this program provides tickets to cultural, social enrichment events to the youth we serve. I presented it to my colleagues, they grabbed it and we ran with it. And so, as I said, some of it has already started, but the bulk of it will be starting now. And we're talking about concerts, museums, special interest camps, plays, art museum, music classes, sporting events, musicals. And so I had a special announcement this morning. I asked for a drum roll. Neither one of them gave me one. But we're happy. Yeah, they looked at me like, you didn't tell me. So I just wanted to announce that some youth, about 10 of them, will have the opportunity to attend the Taylor Swift concert. And we were really excited. And they will be in the Hamilton County box. And it'll be random. All of these decisions of who goes where, they put in where they'd like to go, and then it's just a random selection of who gets to go. So we're all excited about that. So I thank my colleagues for the support on this initiative, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations. That's a very good program, and very happy to support that. And particularly now, I think the timing, like you said at the press conference, summer's coming up. Kids are getting out of school. We need to have them in positive things and positive activities. So just wanted to congratulate you about that. And please don't call our officers for Taylor Swift They have another spot. We won't be able to get out of this building. They'll be downstairs.
That's what I'm
Lined
thinking.
up.
Yeah.
But that's huge, and that's so very, very positive. So, again, thank you for bringing that forward. I had a couple things. I want to say that I met with the library, Paula, the director of the library. There'll be a groundbreaking today in Forest Park. That's a huge deal, and they're doing some great things, and we're gonna try to move this meeting so we all can get there, those who have it on our schedule. I also want to thank Fanon Rucker. The Cochran Firm had a community day this Saturday, and they had a lot of folks in the community on Linton Street, and ran into a lot of people, and they had help. Our public defender's office was there, and we'll be happy to know our executive director of the public defender and our board chair, the first African American ever to be appointed, and board chair that this board put forward, Gabriel Fletcher, was there as well with the Urban League Justice Center. So a lot of great information for the community and great turnout. And then also participated in the WVXU Women in Government program that they have. And me and Judge Stacy DeGaffordry, we got to talk about our basketball days and, reminisce. And we even talked about getting back out there, but we both have to start now for next year. But it was great to talk about women in government and hopefully sharing some advice that will help others. And then also had an interview with the HBCU. I'm an HBCU graduate at a national PBS interview about HBCU graduates. Where are they now? And I got to talk about some of the great things we're doing here in Hamilton County. And even they were like, wow, we need to move to Hamilton County. I said, well, come on. So that was really great. Had a great meeting with CEO of Metro, Daryl Haley, and all of the things that they're doing. Of course, this Metro on Demand rolled out. I tell everybody, I encourage them to utilize it. $2. It's Uber without the high cost. It's $2, and families get to go free, and it's game changing, particularly in the suburb areas. So very excited about that launch. Also very excited. We've got some other awards that I know will be mentioned, but the 513 Relief Bus being recognized and getting recognized by NACO with a national award. We always knew it was award winning, but now it is actually award winning. Our wins are helping the people. But when others recognize, I think it's great the work that we've done. The 513 Relief Bus will be in Sharonville at the Sharonville Convention Center with partnership of our Reentry One Stop. That'll be this Friday, May 26th. That's tomorrow, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m., 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then last, one more I'd have to recognize. I want to thank the daughters of the Prince Hall Shriners, who invited me to be the keynote speaker, and I'm a member, but first time I ever was the keynote speaker, and we had a nice crowd for our annual Thanksgiving program, which was really a great turnout. So thank you for inviting me to do that. And then last but not least, the Small Business Day. I want to thank my colleagues because this is a major initiative that I've been pushing about how do we have a permanent infrastructure for small businesses. We have seen that the need is great, but if we're going to be a county for the future, as we're coming on the backside of COVID, we must have small businesses at the forefront. I talked about it at the State of the County, and it's great when you talk about something, but then people can see it come to fruition. So we have a Office of Small Business. So even after the Small Business Day, I'm getting people now said, I might not have made it, but how can I be involved? I want to give out the name and number. Greg Forte, who is with Alloy Development, who is partnering with us to run our Office of Small Business. His number is 513-458-2210. 513-458-2210. So you don't have to call my office, you go directly. We now have a director that will handle small businesses if you happen to be one of the people that didn't make it. And again, his name is Greg Forte. Before we show this video, I just wanted to say that everything that I could think of, it came to fruition. And I want to thank the administration, Mr. Ludo and Holly. We all had a meeting, and Bridget, along with my staff, Veda, about the vision of how we wanted it to be. And we wanted it, we have so much that we offer here, our board has voted on, but I wanted it to be actionable. I didn't want a leaflet fair. I kept telling everybody, no leaflet fair. And this was amazing. I mean, you could walk in, first of all, 1,000 people registered. You come in, it's free parking. The director of Sharonville Kavitcha Center had stopped me and said, can I get the board out there? I said, we did better. We were not just brought the board, we brought 1,000 people, and we also rented your place. So we did a lot for Sharonville. But when you walk in, the registration was so organized. When you, they had one area where they had workshops for people who had signed up. Great workshops, how to market your business. I mean, you would pay a lot of money to get this kind of information. How to market your business, how to do business with, how to sell your businesses to big clients. Then we had one-on-one, I call it the deal room. They said, we can't call it the deal room, so we'll call it matchmaker. I said, okay. But you went into this room and you had the curtains in between, and you're one-on-one with the people who can make the decision, your business and the people who have the contract. You had 10 minutes to say yourself, and then Leslie hit the button, ding, and you got to get out of here. Her and Christy, they were on that timeline, next. And it was so great. And even our Jobs and Family Services was there to talk about other things that, you might not think we contract with. People were just saying it was amazing. Now, while that's going on, down the hall in the big ballroom, I call it the $4 million room. $4 million in grants. They had everything you need to do. Do you qualify so you didn't waste your time? And then they had these places that you go. I said, I want the computers there. People were on the computers and they were getting helped and they were filling out the application, and Alloy people were answering questions. It was amazing. Then on the other side of the ballroom, they had one for back office zone. If you needed help with back office, how do you set your QuickBooks up? How do you do business with your accountant? And then on the other side, it had access to capital. The SBA was there. So federal money, you can ask right there. And then I really liked Mortar, because a lot of times we have a hard time getting our businesses into 40 words. What is it you do? And we go into, in 1929, we started this bit, So it was like 40 words you left with. Here's 40 words for your business so you can pitch your business. People charge big money for this stuff. And we also had people, Commissioner Dumas, who was there, we had people who came and said, I just got an idea. And we had the money that we had voted on this organization, ECDI, who will sit down with you and help you write your business plan. And they were doing it right there. So it was just amazing. All the feedback has been incredible. And I want to thank everybody that was a part of making this happen. From the beginning of promoting it, putting it together, and those kind of things. It was just phenomenal. And if you weren't there, you can call Greg Forte at 513-458-2210. But I wanted to take a look at what our commission board has already done and is doing for small businesses.
Welcome to Hamilton County, where we strive to be the #1 county in America for small business. We understand the importance of small businesses and the crucial role they play in our local economy. That's why Hamilton County Commissioners are taking action. They've distributed $14 million in federal grants to more than 1,400 Hamilton County small businesses, with 2/3 of the grants going to minority and women-owned businesses. Commissioners launched the 513 Small Business Assist program to provide one-on-one support with grant applications, business planning, marketing, and more during the pandemic. They conducted the county's first disparity study to increase diversity in its contracting and procurement. They lead outreach efforts and partner with the Urban League, area chambers, and nonprofits to reach small businesses. And now, Hamilton County Commissioners are establishing the county's first ever Hamilton County Office of Small Business. Our mission is to serve as the front door for small businesses to access and receive assistance to start and grow their company. With the Hamilton County Office of Small Business, we're here to help you succeed. Our team is led by Greg Forte, a seasoned expert with decades of experience leading, training, and developing organizations. He's here to guide you through the process and provide you with the resources you need to thrive. We've partnered with Alloy Development Company to deliver valuable and flexible resources and assistance. We're also leveraging the expertise of additional small business organizations to ensure that we're providing the best possible support. At the Hamilton County Office of Small Business, we offer a range of services to help you succeed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to grow, we're here to help. Our one-on-one business coaching provides coaching on business plans and connections to resources, while our group and individual training offers training on targeted topics in group or one-on-one settings. We can also assist you in identifying funding sources for your small business. And our incubator services, powered by Alloy's Growth Lab, provides growth services for tech-enabled startups. The Hamilton County Office of Small Business is here to support you every step of the way. Contact us today to learn more about how we can help you start and grow your small business.
I'm excited about that. Oh, yeah, one more slide to show the folks that were helpful. I think that's it. The one slide or whatever, I don't know what slide you got. Okay, go ahead, show it. So we had the ribbon cutting. As you can see, we had the ribbon cutting. We want to thank all of our partners that were here, from the African American Chamber, the Urban League, Alloy, Hispanic Chamber, ECDI, and so many others. And then we also want to thank the staff here that volunteered. So thank you all very much. I wanted their names to be in lights as well. So thank you all so much for making this possible. Okay, well, those are my statements, and again, our goal is to be number one, and I think we're on a very good track. So thank you all for that. That concludes my comments and presentations right now. We will now go to our agenda. Mr. Aluda.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple of by-leaves for your consideration today. Actually, there's 3 of the by-leaves relate to proclamations and board appointments. I assume you'll be advancing.
Oh, yes. Let me go back to those. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Let's go to our by-leaves. We have, can you go to by-leave number 1, though?
Yeah, so number 1 is a budget adjustment. This is related to a couple of different things. This is an office furniture project within the Clerk of Courts. The appropriation of One Ohio addiction response funding, as was indicated at Tuesday's staff meeting. There is also the appropriation of dollars out of the indigent care levy for capital build out of our TB control operation through public health at their new facility in Norwood, and the appropriation of the next phase of the bank's variable message signage project, which we front, but which FHWA reimburses us 80% for. So wanted to bring that before the board, and the administration recommends approval of by-leave 1.
Okay, by-leave 1, that's a mouthful. I can't wonder why Health Commissioner Kessler was here. I said, wait a minute, there's another shot I got to get. What's going on here? Did you need to add anything about that facility, or are you okay? Okay, and then I do have something I do want to say about the variable message signs. And I've mentioned this to Mr. Philbeck, because we got 2 Becks, Mr. Philbeck. Did we ever find out about the ones that were messed up? You said they had to send away for a part and all that. Has that been corrected, or you were getting on top of that manufacturer last time we talked?
Good afternoon, Philbeck. Yes, we are still working through the punch list items. We have 20-some items that we're working on correcting from the prior phase of the signage.
Okay.
And they're all under warranty.
they're under warranty. But are we using the same company? Because they broke down right away. I mean, we just got them, and 30 days later, they were looking really bad. I mean, you were upset about it, I know.
Yes. Yeah, we're still working through that.
But we're not using the same people, are we, on this one? They need to
It's
be
coming
fired.
for you next week.
Okay.
That company they were one of the proposers, but they were not the lowest and deemed not the one
That we were having. Okay. They should be X'd out until they fix the money we already spent. And I know you feel the same way on that, but I wanted to bring that up, Mr. Aludo. That was interesting. Any other questions, Vice President Dreehouse?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Commissioner Kesterman. I know he's sitting in the way back of the room.
You're gonna make him come up here.
I am.
He didn't want to come up here. You're gonna.
Because we've got a change in location here, and I just wanted to bring that to the public's attention. So if you could elaborate on that a little bit.
Sure. Our current location in Clifton, right by our main office, which is at 237 William Howard Taft, the property has been sold and is going to become student housing. And so the new property remains on a bus line, although truthfully, most of our clients, we use Uber Health to get them to the clinic if they have no access to driving. It's a central location. Most of our services, as you know, are provided county-wide, so having a central location is important, and there remains free parking for our clients. In addition, probably one of the largest complexities of this project for tuberculosis care, you need to have negative airflow systems, and so the space has been specialized and designed appropriately to handle those patients.
Can you remind us of the address of the new location?
I have not yet signed a lease, so I publicly
no
don't
wonder
want
you're being
to.
so cagey,
Don't want
'cause
to.
I was like,
That's
Sure,
why.
say it.
That's why he
Say
didn't
it.
want to come up here. He said, "Come on up here."
Well, I think it's
But
important, though, that people know that we're changing locations, but you can't say the name of the location.
The new location, we won't be moving in until December 31st. So after today's appropriation, if it passes, I plan to sign the lease this afternoon, and then we'll start working on some marketing. As Administrator Aludo indicated, it is in Norwood. It's centrally located near near Norwood Lateral, so it's easy to get to.
Yep, okay. Sorry.
No worries.
I feel like it's like, haven't we said this before? No, maybe not. Okay, very good, thank you. And I did want to just bring attention to the addiction response money coming in from a settlement. That's on here too, and the money's starting to roll in and be allocated. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Dumas?
Thank you. Just a comment, Jeff, when we list this, that if we could divide up how much the 9 million goes to for the office furniture and I think it is on the website, but if somebody comes in and gets the agenda today, you wouldn't know how much it's for the signage. And so if we can just divide that up on our agenda, that would be good for the next time.
Okay, yeah, we can take a look at how to do that, because sometimes we have a lot of different budget adjustments on one, so we have to figure out how to do it. But understood that right now it says 9.3 million. That's the total amount of the budget adjustment, and I recognize that that's split between a lot of different items. So we'll take a look at that and figure out how to message that.
So we're voting on 5 different things: office furniture, addiction response, TB services, and the variable message signage. So we should already know how much the addiction part is, don't we?
Yes, we do, and it's on the second page of that, but it's not listed in, as you mentioned, it's not listed on this front page.
Okay.
So,
All right, thank you. That's all I had.
So I make a motion to approve by leave 1.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Thank-
Mr. Dreehouse, you forgot your by leave, but we'll come back to it. Item number 3. Let's go to by leave 3. Stay with you.
Sure. Thank you, Madam President. By leave number 3, this is a resolution approving the tentative collective bargaining agreement between the Hamilton County Board of County Commissioners, Department of Job and Family Services, and the American Federation of State County Municipal Employees, AFSCME, Local 1768, representing various JFS classifications. The administration recommends approval of this tentative collective bargaining agreement.
I'll open it up for questions. Vice President Dreehouse.
I have no questions.
Commissioner Dumas.
I would just like to thank our staff and thank our lawyers and thank AFSCME for working together to come to a conclusion on this agreement. That's all I have.
I concur. Okay, I make a motion to approve item number 3.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to advance by leave number 4 and 5 as a resolution of appointments, appointing a member to the Port of Greater Cincinnati Development Authority, Aaron Brown, who is currently also the mayor of Forest Park. And by leave number 5 is a resolution appointing a member to the Tax Levy Review Committee, Pastor Peterson Mingo. I'll open it up for questions or discussions. Vice President Driehaus.
No, just grateful to both of these individuals for being willing to serve. Actually, Aaron Brown we were thinking about him for another appointment, so he's very popular. But I'm glad that we found a spot for the mayor to serve on behalf of the county. So supportive of both of these resolutions.
Okay, Commissioner Dumas?
Madam Chair, I would just ask that we add mayor on there, since we have the pastor, if we can add mayor on his name to be indicated. Yeah.
Okay, it's on the resolution. All right, well, we will make sure. So I move to approve with the amendment to be Mayor Aaron Brown, items number 4 and 5.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes. By leave number 2, I'll turn to Vice President Driehaus.
Yes, this is a resolution that we need to pass in order to fly the LGBTQ plus pride flags at county buildings for the month of June, which is Pride Month. And so we've been doing this for a number of years, and every year we have to pass a separate resolution. So that's what this is for. And we will have a celebration and a flag raising ceremony on June 1st. We'll do that in conjunction with the city of Cincinnati, who will be raising their flag, I think, an hour before us. And so we'll have a celebration at one end of the city, and then we'll come to the other end of the city and do it again at the county buildings. So, but this is simply to allow us to do that.
Thank you. Should we also amend it? We don't have the plus sign. It says LGBTQ plus.
Yeah.
We amend it. So I move that we, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Commissioner Dumas, I
I
apologize.
just wanted to indicate, and I don't have the resolution in front of me, but in June, we but the flag does come down in June for Juneteenth Day, and we put up the Juneteenth flag. So I just wanted to make sure that it was clear, it doesn't stay up the whole month. There's one day that it comes down, so.
That has not, I don't think, been written into the resolution in the past, even though we've done it every year. So I assume we don't need it written in there, but there's clearly an understanding that that flag goes up for Juneteenth and then comes back down and Pride goes up. Yep. Maybe in the future we'll make sure that language is added.
Yeah. Or we can amend it. It says, resolution directing in honor.
Well, we've done it in practice for the last 2 years, and so I don't think it's an issue, but in the future,
Will
we
it
should
be an
add the
issue?
language if it makes you more comfortable.
I just want to make sure. Except Juneteenth. That's all you got to put, except Juneteenth. Can we put that as amendment, except Juneteenth?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if that, Charlie, would that need another resolution?
I was wondering, we could bring another one.
I don't have a copy of the resolution
I have it right
before
here.
me.
Charlie, we're gonna put you to work. You don't have a screen, you don't have a resolution. I got the resolution.
I don't know if we've done a resolution in the past for June, or have we for Juneteenth?
Yeah.
Do you remember doing a resolution
For Juneteenth.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, there will be one coming.
not a proclamation, but a resolution for the flag raising?
Oh,
I don't
I'd have to go
recall
back.
doing that. Maybe we should, as a matter of practice, do that. Yep.
I'm not sure.
So while our legal is reviewing that, 'cause I know.
Madam President?
Yes.
I think this is also, I don't know, this is also the first year that I think we've had 3 polls out there.
Oh.
So this may not be an
So
issue.
nothing needs, so we just bring a resolution.
It will be an issue. Yeah, because we want Juneteenth to fly on that one day itself, by itself.
With no other, with,
That's how we do
okay.
it.
Can we, is that something we have to see?
Well, I think, are you suggesting, we used to have to take one down to put the other up because we only had one?
That was what we had to do in the past, but if the intent is to only have one specific flag flying, then 3, doesn't matter how many polls we
Have one day.
But in the past, yes, we had to take one down because there were so many flags that they started to get almost reachable from the ground, and we didn't want to have that happen. So,
Well, the one that says, whereas the Board of Commissioners wishes to fly rainbow flags and change the light colors on the courthouse in support of Hamilton County LGBTQ, and it needs to have plus, employees and citizens, and to promote the inclusivity of Hamilton County. It doesn't say that it's gonna fly the whole month of June, is what I'm seeing on here. Is the last one? Okay, can we say except Juneteenth?
Why, can I just ask, if we've got enough room for them both, why would we take it down?
Well, because we wanted to, sorry.
Go ahead, Commissioner Dumas.
No, I'm just saying we wanted to designate one day for Juneteenth, period. I mean, the LGBT gets the whole month to fly. And so this one day, we want people to observe Juneteenth on one day.
So I think, and I wasn't in this meeting, but I think to just clarify, Juneteenth will fly Thursday the 15th through Monday the 19th, is what my understanding is, which I think is great. I guess my only question is if you are right, the rainbow flag goes up for the month of June because it's Pride Month. I guess my question is, in the past we've had to manipulate the flags because we didn't have room. You can't only fly so many flags on one pole, and so now we've got additional poles, and so we could do them at the same time if there's an objection to that. If the majority rolls, but I don't know why we wouldn't just leave the rainbow flag up and also on a different pole, so as not to take away from either one, fly the Juneteenth also on a separate pole.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Well, I don't
Because
think
this,
we take
Commissioner Dumas, this is.
Yeah, we started this in 19, right after we started Black History Month, we started this, which is great. But I don't think it's taken away from anyone just to say, when you raise the flag, you're observing a certain celebration that, history. And so we want everybody to take notice of Juneteenth from what we say the 15th through, because it's easier for facilities to not have to go up again. So we'll take it down on Monday. And we want people to observe Juneteenth.
Agreed.
Then you go back to the other one for the whole rest of the month.
No, I'm not trying to take away. In fact, I'm not trying to take away from Juneteenth. I mean, I think we should do that. I think it's a great idea. I'm glad it's 4 days.
Okay.
I'm just suggesting it, and maybe we need more information. But although I think this is a timing issue here too, because
I think
this
the
would go
issue
up on
should
June
be,
4th
we
or
do what
June
we
1st.
I just think we should just
what
do what we
normally
did.
do. Yeah.
Like you
Okay,
said.
well,
we
let's do what we did
normally
last
because I
year,
don't
and
know.
then,
And then, because since the time is of essence, like you said.
Yeah.
And I think that way we could celebrate both, and they have their own celebration without, any, because they're very important. Both are very important. So let's just do what we've been doing. Do we need to make any adjustment to this resolution to do it? I guess that's the question today. Or do we, or is it just no? Do we have to have?
I think we did a
Yeah, I thought
proclamation.
I can't hear you on YouTube.
I know that the board has recognized Juneteenth and declared it a holiday, and I'm not sure if there was flag components to that resolution. But we can look into that. There's a first.
Yeah, it's been a flag, but I don't know.
Sure.
Do we need it legally in the thing that we want the flag up between those days?
It sounds like what we're passing, Madam Chair, is that the LGBT flag will fly all of June, and that's not accurate, because it won't fly all of June if we agree that the Juneteenth should have its own time to fly. I think that's, just a little to ask, not too much.
Well, yeah, because it says entire month.
Right.
So maybe we just say entire month of June, except, what's the date on that Thursday?
Okay, so
Except,
are we, okay, so we don't have a separate resolution for Juneteenth.
Right.
So,
We will have,
okay, we'll have that, because I don't think we've done that in the past. I think we've just done it without the resolution. I don't remember.
well, we just had the proclamation.
We had the proclamation. I don't think we had a resolution, which is, I mean, it's
did we
neither
ever
here
have
nor
a
there.
resolution?
We did for this
Not
one.
revolution.
We did for Pride, but I don't think we did for Juneteenth.
Yeah, I had to get these dates.
Revolution.
Revolution.
So I don't, do we have time to?
Can we hold
get
this the next
language
week?
together?
Will this hurt us if we hold it a week?
We could do it
Get
on
it worked
Tuesday.
out?
I don't think I
not
thought we
gonna have
canceled.
a
Oh, we're not here.
You're not here on Tuesday. You could do it on Thursday, which would be June the 1st, and
Oh, no, that won't be good. Where's the timing? Can we just can we just amend it? Why don't we go through the calendar? Mr. Lawyer, can you get with the people? You're very intelligent and smart. You know how to do all this. Can you give us an amendment to this that we could say and pass it by the end of the meeting?
If the suggestion is to amend the final be it resolved paragraph to, and then amend during the entire month of June, and then you can add except for these dates for June, for Juneteenth.
Yes, can you work on that?
I think you could motion that and amend that, as long as that's good with the clerk. If you could add the, sorry.
We're working on something for Juneteenth. We just.
Okay, why don't we do this? We're gonna keep moving the calendar. We'll come back to this item in a second. And while y'all working on something, let's get some language, chiefs of staffs and whoever, lawyers, chief of staffs. We got the most intelligent people in the place. Okay, so we'll come back. Let's come back. I don't want to hold that up. Let's go with, did we pass by leave 4 and 5?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Leslie, stay with us. Okay, we're gonna move on and come back to this by leave number 2, and we'll have it all resolved. Okay, Mr. Ludo, let's move to the calendar. We have item number,
we've got items number 1 and 2, which are your regular agenda. Sarah Adams will walk us through the agreement with Learning Grove, and then I believe Catherine Fitzgerald is here to walk us through the enterprise zone resolution related to General Tool.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I am here to go over item number 1, which is a resolution with Learning Grove Incorporated, and they actually just merged with Families Forward, so they are working collaboratively together. This is actually a resolution for under our youth resiliency programs that we do around $3.9 million for to combat social isolation in our youth for ages 9 to 19. This is the 26th agreement that we are bringing to you guys today. So we actually only have one more for next week, and then we will actually have all of our youth contracts and resolutions to have come before the board. Families Forward will expand their after-school program and serve a minimum of 400 youth within 4 CPS schools. Their program focuses on social, emotional learning, music, arts, and technology. They provide homework help, tutoring, and activities such as dance, Finding My Sparkle, which is a program for girls to try to build their self-esteem and inspire them, and technology programs. The expansion will add more field trips, increase student enrollment, which is a no-cost program, and foster family engagement. And I have Michelle Toney, the Executive Director from Families Forward, here with me today, and together we can answer any questions, so I'll ask her to come on up.
okay.
So thank you so much. And just on the record, I'm an HBCU graduate too. I just like to say that. But no, we greatly appreciate the commissioners and the board funding this much needed program. We've been before you before, working once again with our youth, and we believe that the investment is immeasurable to what we ultimately can do with our youth.
Awesome. I'll open it up. Vice President Driehaus, do you have any questions?
This is coming forward.
Awesome.
Commissioner Dumas?
Very supportive.
See how easy that was? Very supportive.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. Yes.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have today.
That's
I know
all
it's
you-
odd, but that's all I
too
have
quick
today.
for you. Wait a
I know.
minute. Hold on. Okay, I make a motion to approve item number 1.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Driehaus.
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Thanks, Commissioners.
All right, thank you. Mr. Ludo, item number 2.
Thank you, Commissioners. This item, you will recall from our staff meeting where we had representatives from General Tool and from Alloy Development talking about an enterprise zone agreement with General Tool. So Ms. Fitzgerald is here to walk us through the resolution approving of that agreement.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Catherine Fitzgerald with Alloy Development. For your consideration is an enterprise zone agreement proposal for General Tool to build a 55,000 square foot building in the Aero Hub in Evendale to manufacture generators for the Navy destroyers. Our recommendation is a tax abatement of 75% for 10 years. Evendale passed a resolution approving this incentive on April 18th. Construction is expected, if approved, to begin this summer and be completed fall of 2024. And just to add some clarity, the jobs in Reading, although they may move some positions to this location in Evendale, they will backfill those positions, so they will remain at 244 jobs in Reading. Woodlawn has currently 30 jobs. Those will also be retained, so nothing will be displaced. The Evendale proposal is for 47 jobs, and again, a 55,000 square foot facility in the Aero Hub. Thank you.
I'll open up for questions. Vice President Treehouse.
No questions.
Commissioner Dumas.
No questions.
And I just want to say, we did have an extensive presentation where all of us asked questions. So that's why we are very well aware of this. Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve item number 2.
Second?
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse. Yes. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Thank you. And I want to clarify, we had a public meeting that was on, and people can go back and watch it, where we asked a lot of good questions and got a lot of good answers. So thank you very much. Thank you for your work. Mr. Ludo, consent agenda.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll walk you briefly through the consent agenda here. Item number 3 is a 2022 is an item reimbursing expenses for American Legion 69. Just a bit of background on this, just because it, for those in the public may not be aware. So under the Ohio Revised Code, upon application, the county will must pay up to $500 for veterans organizations to defray Memorial Day expenses for those organizations. So it's something good that the county does to help various veterans institutions celebrate Memorial Day. So this is for American Legion 69. We already accomplished item number 4. Item number 5 is a resolution consolidating Findlay market parcels to convey property to the city of Cincinnati. This combines 3 individual county-owned parcels out in the Findlay market area, 2 parking lots and the vacated Logan Street into a single parcel. And then it also conveys the newly created Langston Street to the city of Cincinnati. This helps us continue moving forward on our Findlay Market Garage project. We have a BioWatch grant appropriating to environmental services in the amount of $308,000. We have the bid awards and contracts authorized by the purchasing director in the amount of $1.1 million. We have 2 vehicles for the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, a Chevy Tahoe and a Ford Explorer. We have waterproofing facade and concrete repair at Paycor Stadium awarded to the lowest bidder, ZSR, for $384,000. We have a resolution amending the county purchasing manual to incorporate an increase in our quote thresholds from 1,000 to 2,500. This also incorporates a lot of the new policies and procedures that the board authorized through the disparity study formally into our purchasing policies. Item number 12 is a Ford Explorer purchase on behalf of county facilities. Then we have several agreements for job and family services. We have 3 foster care and 1 group home agreement for job and family services. And then we have a request for travel at the county's expense, the coroner with 1 employee to Burlington, Vermont, and the county engineer with 2 employees to Lebanon, Ohio. Happy to answer any questions.
I'll open it up. Vice President Treehouse.
I have no questions.
Commissioner Dumas.
No questions.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve and accept item number 3, and then item number 5 through 17.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse. Yes. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes. Okay, now are we ready to go back? Or we still need to? I feel like Congress, we got a filibuster. I do want to make one correction. We put up on the board all the folks and the offices that helped with making the Small Business Day correct. I wanted to say that on there, we did not have on my staff, Beta Stevens and my intern, Deontay Morris. That needs to be added. They were there all day, and they also was helping behind the scenes, the pre-work. So I want to make that added to the template that we put out. But thank you both. Okay, what do we have, Leslie? Our clerk, you were handing out.
Yes, we have some corrected language that I think
I need to see it.
Or added
President-
language.
The president
Madam
needs to
President.
see it.
So the suggestion here from legal would be that if a commissioner would like to move by leave resolution number 2 amended on the floor with clarifying language after in the resolve clause to state that the pride flag will fly for the entire month of June, except for, and the dates are listed in the dates I think are the Tuesday before and the Thursday before and the Tuesday after. I don't have the copy in front of me, but
Right. I'm the
so
president,
that
but I didn't have it. We just have one.
that would
We only have one copy. Okay, so we did, and I stand corrected. We did have a resolution last year. Right. So I guess we did both. I don't think we did them at the same time, but we did 2 resolutions last year. So this resolution, I will amend my own resolution, directing the county to fly the rainbow flags for the month of June. And I'm correcting it with the now therefore be it resolved clause, which is now changed to say now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County, Ohio does hereby proclaim the month of June as Pride Month and directs the Department of County Facilities to fly rainbow flags at the county buildings during the entire month of June 2023, except for June 15 through June 20 in observance of Juneteenth.
Okay.
That's the corrected.
Everybody like it? Okay. Did you make a motion to pass it?
I am making a motion to pass the
And I'll
resolution.
second it.
Commissioner Dreehouse,
Yes.
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes. Thank you.
Do we not need that now? You got a resolution.
Oh, this came from.
That'll be
Kim
later.
brought it
Oh,
in
that's
for-
later, last year.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think that's it. Any other comments? There's no further, I want to thank the clerks. Thank you, prosecutor office. Thank you so much. Working so quickly with us. We keep you on your toes. So you was asleep. I said, wake up. We got to need you. No, we appreciate you. All right. If there's no further business to come before us, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse,
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.